Welcome, everyone. Here is our first introduction to trigonometry. All right. Oh, I need to measure the height of the tree, but when I asked the squirrel to help me carry the tape measure to the top branch, instead he took it and buried it with his nuts. And I can't climb the tree by myself. Hey there, young lady. What's the matter? Oh, it's terrible. I have to measure this tree's height, and the squirrel is not cooperating at all. Oh, I can help you with that. Let's use trigonometry and the power of triangles. Huh? We may not be able to measure the tree directly, but we can measure its shadow and the angle of the sun. Oh, so that's what those numbers are down there. Okay, make sure your calculator is set to degrees. If not, Google it. Like seriously, this is like one of the most important pieces of advice I'm giving you today, okay? Set your calculator to degrees, and if you don't know how, Google how. Okay? Or ask me if we're in class, but I'm not there with you. So it's easier if you learn to solve your own problems. But what do we do with these numbers? Well, make a diagram of your triangle with the numbers. Here's here's the length of the shadow, here's the angle, and here's the beautiful tree. We don't know the height of the tree, so let it be t. Okay, then we can do algebra. Now we label the sides of any right triangle in the following way. Okay, though in this case the tree is the opposite side. Sometimes you need to be able to rotate triangles in your mind or move them around. Okay, in this case the tree is the opposite because it's opposite the angle. Okay, you got it. The longest side is always the hypotenuse, and the side furthest from the angle is the opposite. So the adjacent side is adjacent to the angle. Try not to be so sarcastic. It doesn't help the students learn. Now just use the proper trigonometric ratio and solve for the height of the tree. What do you mean by trigonometric ratio? Well, there are 3 trig ratios, and they compare the lengths of different sides of the triangle. Sine, cosine, and tangent, right? That's right. And you can use SOHCAHTOA to remember what they mean. So sine is so opposite over hypotenuse. That's right. And cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. We see that here. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. While tangent is opposite over adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. So which one do we use for this problem? Well, look at your diagram. That's important. Look at your diagram. After you've written a diagram, then look at it. Okay. T is the opposite. It's opposite the angle. And 24 is the adjacent. So we want a ratio that relates opposite to adjacent. SOHCAHTOA. Tangent is O over A. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So we use that, right? You got it. So what do I punch on my calculator? Well, we know that tangent is opposite over adjacent, but we know the adjacent is 24, and we called the height of the tree t. So write that down. So tan 40, so go back up to our diagram here. 40 degrees is our angle, opposite is t, and adjacent is 24. So tangent is opposite over adjacent. So write all that down. Okay. Multiply both sides by 24, and these 24s will cancel to isolate t. Then just punch 24 times tan 40 on my calculator. You're right. Wait, I got negative 26.8, the student says. Oh, I got negative 26.8. The tree can't have a negative height. And then I said, you're right. The problem is your calculator is set to radians and not degrees. Because we're measuring this angle here in degrees, you should have your calculator set to degrees. Okay, This time I got 21.1. So the tree is 21.1 meters tall? Well, that seems like a reasonable answer. That sure is a tall tree. Now, you at home, it is your turn to try punching 24 times tan 40 on your calculator. Make sure you get 20.1. Otherwise, all your answers will be wrong forever. Okay, so that's very key that you have your calculator set right. Okay, so let me show you punching tan 40 on the calculator. Okay, and then yeah, so that's the end of the video. Yeah, so any questions, hit me up by email or in the chat.